Hello friends, welcome to Coder Thoughts. Today we are going to talk about 5 things that you need to become a better software engineer. So number 1 is data structure and algorithms. So data structures and algorithms in no doubt is the most required skill in software engineering. You can always learn new algorithms which are out there. You can always understand the data structures, and it's a very long process. I do understand it. Some people shy away from saying that, I'm not going to use it in my job anyways, so I should not do that. But the uh, reality is, when you know data structures, when you know algorithms and how to use them, and when you actually think of developing a performant system, you always require these data structures. Now, uh, most of the FANG companies always ask for these data structure interviews, where they try to give you a competitive program statement and then you solve it. You might think why it is important. It is important because they don't want you to be like doing only the work that you are assigned, but they want you to come up with a revolutionary idea or something which would solve a specific thing in their company. For example, Amazon came up with DynamoDB, then Microsoft came with this NTFS file system, and a lot of things here and there always require some innovative algorithms in their shit, right? So always focus on that. Now, how can you do that? You can go to any um, I don't know, Lead Code or Hacker Rank or Hacker Earth, and just start with competitive coding. And it's fun if you like to solve problems, which you should if you want to become a software engineer. And it is also really helpful to uh, understand how you can develop efficient solutions. Then second is clean code. As much as it is avoided, at least during the college days, at least when I was in college, I never knew anything like clean code existed. So I used to just write write anything, like any variable names, anything like that, and I used to just make the application work, which I feel that that was a mistake, like every programmers do. Because yeah, life of a software programmer is like, I will regret what I wrote yesterday, and I will regret tomorrow what I wrote today. So, because of this constant learning process, you will always regret the code which you wrote in the past. But it is always a good thing, because then you know that you are learning and you are progressing in software engineering. Um, Write clean code, and clean code means different for different languages. So whenever you are learning a language, make sure that you also learn how clean code is written in that language. So let's say you are a Python developer, you should know how the clean code in Python works. You should, for referring to the clean code thing, I would say always refer to the native libraries of the language, um, because that is the right way to do it. I see a lot of people who created libraries which are not actually the best in that particular, for that particular language. But then you get that impression, oh, this guy is doing has made this library in this way, so maybe that is clean code. Oh, then this guy, so you are always confused. But the best part is the native library, because native library is written by the language creators, like the developers of the language. So they have given you a path on what to follow, so you should always follow that path. So that is the second point, right? Now let's come to the third point. third point is clean architecture. Now I see, apart from the clean code practices, are many people who do not follow clean architecture. They will have this one, for example, if it is Golang, they will have this common package kind of thing, which they just add it, and then soon you will find a lot of that package is doing a lot of different thing which shouldn't be the case, and then you're confused like, what should I put in the common? Should I put this or not? So it is also very clumsy. It becomes very clumsy. Never have common, or I don't know, many other util kind of packages. It's not what it should be. You should always have a nice proper packaging system that will help you in the long run, that okay, this is something which will be found here, this is something which will be found here, and this is what this particular package is supposed to be doing. So always have this kind of approach towards the architecture. And if you see any existing code with common or util or helper kind of packages, please remove that. I also did it previously, but ever since I stopped doing that, I never moved back again. I found this entire thing so much helpful. It's like very much underrated thing, but it's really good. Apart from that, obviously you also have some design patterns like MVVM and things like that, so also learn that. But it again depends on your project and depends on a lot of things. Okay, so that is the third point. Now let's move on to the fourth point. Fourth point is good communication. This is really not focused on, especially in colleges, but having a good communication is also required in software industry, especially when you are discussing your thoughts and the architecture trade-offs between different architectures and things like that. You will always require this, because you have to explain your position on certain things, you need to explain your thought process, you need to explain that how your algorithm or how your architecture is going to look like, why you choose it, how it would be much more beneficial over the other. And then you will also get some feedback. So maybe it could be like your colleague is presenting something, and maybe you have a feedback for that I don't think this is the right approach because of XYZ and things like that. So you should always have that good communication. Then after that, the fifth point is pair coding. This is something which colleges don't teach you, but having a pair coding session is really good and always beneficial for both the team members, and it is a lot more faster, I would say, even though you might think it sounds really weird that two programmers are working on a single code and that is faster. But whenever I used to take part in competitions and things like that, it was much easier when I had one person who was pair programming with me, and I was responsible for coding, and we had a one-to-one talk and we were doing it on the flow. So it was much faster as compared to let me code, and then someone will review it, and then oh no, this is something which I feel is in this way. So it's like a longer process, and it is not always efficient. I mean, it's sometimes efficient, but it's not always efficient. So pair coding is something you should also kind of get used to. Now this also requires you to have good communication, which was the fourth point. So yeah, just work on these skills, and hopefully you will become a better software engineer after this video.